What's up everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are diving into Magic the Gathering's most powerful land cycles ever printed, Fetchlands. These seemingly simple lands can cost upwards of $50 each, and some players run 8 of them in a single deck. But why? What makes these lands so special that players are willing to spend hundreds of dollars just on their mana base? What are Fetchlands? Fetchlands are a cycle of 10 rare lands that let you pay 1 life and sacrifice them to search your library for a land with one of 2 specific basic land types. For example, Polluted Delta lets you search for an island and a swamp. But here's the crucial part. It doesn't say basic island or basic swamp. It searches for any land with those basic land types. This means you can grab dual lands, shock lands, triomes, and lands that has island or swamp in their type line. And that's where the real power begins. Before we go further, let's quickly review the 5 basic land types of Magic. Plains, which make white mana, island, which make blue mana, swamp, which make black mana, mountain, which make red mana, and forest, which make green mana. Fetchlands let you search for lands with these specific types in any combination available to that fetchland. The 10 Fetchlands. There are 2 cycles of Fetchlands. First, we have the enemy-colored Fetchlands. Marsh Flats searches for plains or swamp. Scalding Tarn searches for island or mountain. Verdant Catacombs searches for swamp or forest. Arid Mesa searches for plains or mountain. And Misty Rainforest searches for island or forest. Alright, then we have the allied colored Fetchlands. Flooded Strand searches for plains or island. Polluted Delta searches for island or swamp. Bloodstained Mire searches for swamp or mountain. Wooded Foothills searches for mountain or forest. And Windswept Heath searches for forest or plains. And between these 10 lands you can access any combination of colors in the game with the right setup. So what makes Fetchlands so powerful? It's what you can search for. Let's break down some of the most important fetchable lands. Shock lands like Steam Vents or Hallowed Fountain have 2 basic land types and can be fetched by any of the fetchlands that search for their type. Yes, they enter untapped if you pay 2 life, but often it's worth that. The OG, the original dual lands like Underground Sea or Tundra, even better, 2 land types with no drawbacks. They're on the reserve list and cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars each, but they are gold standard for a reason. And then we have the Triomes from Ikura and Streets of New Capenna. They have 3 basic land types. They always enter tapped, but the flexibility is incredible. Okay, so those were probably the best ones, but there are many other cycles too. Battle lands, bicycle lands, snow duels and more. Anything with basic land type in their type line is fair game for Fetchlands. Now, let's talk about why Fetchlands are so powerful. First, they provide perfect color fixing. With just a few Fetchlands and the right targets, you can reliably cast spells from any color you need. Second, they thin your deck. Every time you crack a fetch, you remove 2 lands from your library, slightly increasing your chances for drawing non-land cards in the late game. Third, they trigger landfall abilities twice. Once when the fetch land enters, and again when the fetched land enters. Fourth, they put cards in your graveyard, which is a huge for strategies using Delirium, Delve or Threshold. And fifth, they shuffle your library, which is incredibly valuable after effects like Brainstorm, Ponder, Senseless Diving Top that lets you manipulate the top of your library. Drawbacks. Of course, Fetchlands aren't perfect, they have some drawbacks. The life loss adds up. Paying 1 life might not seem like much, but in a format where you're also playing shock lands or using cards like Thug Size, those life points matters. They're expensive. Some Fetchlands cost $50 or more each, which can be a real barrier to entry. Using too many Fetchlands can thin your deck too much in a long game, potentially leaving you without lands to fetch. And remember, while Fetchlands themselves enter untapped, the land you search for might enter tapped depending on what it is. Format legality. Fetchlands are legal in Modern, Legacy, Vintage and Commander. They occasionally appear in Standard, but usually rotate out quickly. In Pioneer, the allied Fetchlands are not legal, which significantly impacts decks building in that format. And of course, what you can fetch varies on the format too. Original dual lands are only legal in Legacy, Vintage and Commander. Conclusion. So there you have it. Fetchlands are Magic's most powerful land cycle because they provide unmatched flexibility, perfect color fixing and numerous of additional benefits that go beyond just making mana. If you're serious about competitive Magic in older formats, investing in Fetchlands is almost always worth it. What do you think? Are Fetchlands worth their high price tag? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more MTG content. And share with friends! Thank you all. Bye now.